On a date last night, and midway through the guy was like, listen, I want to tell you look pretty, but I haven't, because you said you like it when men are mean to you. Which, if you think about it, is really sweet of him. Cause, you know, some guys really do listen.
This is why I'm single, you guys. I was just on the phone with this guy. Yeah, we're talking on the phone, and randomly I start going, yeah. Let's say his name is Muhammad, right? I was like, Muhammad, I'm coming for you. And he hung up on me.
I honestly just feel like a lot of men these days don't want to put effort into anything anymore. Like, they don't really want to take a woman out unless the woman makes it super convenient for the man. And it doesn't mean that that's the best relationship to be in. I think a lot of women want to have a partner, want to have companionship, so they'll do what they can to have a man in their life. And it's like, it's just crazy to me. Like, and listen, I'm not to shame their relationship, but I do believe though that this is why you see a lot of the relationships set up the way they are, is because the woman had to put in more effort to get that guy at the end of the day. So it's just wild to me how many men are just so lazy, and the women just say, okay, they give up and like, okay, fine, let me pursue. But it doesn't mean like that's the best dynamic to be in, because the best dynamic is where the guy puts in more effort in the beginning, especially to pursue the woman. And especially if they're not doing that, you're gonna see the woman in that relationship is just putting way more effort than the guy, and it's not that good of a situation. Even if they're claiming it to be that way, I promise you it's not. If she had to pursue more so in the beginning, then he's going to expect that from her in the entire dynamic, and it's just super unfortunate and does not mean it's the best outcome at the end of the day. So it's crazy out here.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Josten J coming to you with another video. Let's cook, boys. Let's cook. All right. Women are shocked when men refuse to beg for their attention in modern dating. We got action. Let's cook.
I feel really bad for the people who are dating in 2026, because the options out there for men, specifically for like women who are looking for men, it's really bad. It's really bad options out there, because it's like you can get like the really hot guy, but chances are he's probably a fucking sociopath. But then you kind of like, oh, okay, like I'll go with the super nice guy, like the safe guy. And then he ends up being like a mama's boy and doesn't want to work or provide or like do anything. And like, whatever, that could be a whole different conversation. But like, it's really bad. It's really bad out here.
She says, I feel bad for people that have to date in 2026. And she's referring to men and women, but then completely goes into bashing men. I find that very funny. They have more dudes that are after them, but they don't want those dudes. Men have to accept what they can get a lot of the times, or then there's men who put in the work, right, to become the cream of the crop, and then they have to eliminate and weed through women who are telling them what they will and won't accept. And then they have women that will always cooperate with them. But you see, when women are younger, they have a lot of guys that want to do for them. They wait until they're older, and then they're like, oh, I feel bad for people that have to date. And when she's bashing men, once again, how can you bash all men when the men that you go after let you down? See, with men, we go after a bunch of different type of women, you know, a bunch of different types of women. And then when it doesn't work out, we're kind of like, well, damn, I've dated this type of woman. I've dated this type of woman. I dated this type of woman. They're just like, I continuously date the same type of guys. And then it becomes an all guy thing. You understand? And even if you watch a lot of my videos, you hear me say all the time, it's not all women. Not all women. I even salute women. Shout out to the successful women. Shout out to the women that have been with their dude for a minute. I don't go, you know, all women. It just goes without saying too, you know, if you have half a brain, you understand it's not all. But when they're talking about men, it's an all men problem. Makes no sense. Men aren't begging to be used. At the end of the day, men aren't begging to be used, begging to be played. See, back in the day, right? A chick could cheat on a dude. He'd beg her to stop dealing with the dude. A chick could say no to a date. He'd beg her to go on a date. She could tell him, oh, I'm not feeling it after the first date. He'd beg her for a second date or to try to, you know, do a redo. Men aren't doing that anymore. And women are like, wait, what the hell's going on? If you notice, right, there will be like Twitter posts and women are asking, after you say no, a guy just stops trying to pursue you. What's good with that? What? See, that's how much it bothers them when men are like, nah, I'm good. What sense does it make to keep chasing after you? What sense? And we're going to get into clips later in the video of it just exposes that you don't have to put in effort for women. But let's get the next one.
While I'm here, I thought maybe we'll do another rant as well. So dating is so out for 2026. It's not even fucking funny. The clarity, headspace, consistent mood, lack of fucking emotional roller coaster is top tier. So at the end of last year, I grew some balls and I went on Hinge again, fucking randomly. And there was this hot guy on there and I was like, wow, this guy's hot. Anyway, he was so funny and nice and super keen to catch up. The day rolls around that we're meant to be catching up and he goes, I don't know, it's kind of weird to be meeting someone off an app. And I was like, what are you doing here? I don't want a fucking pen pal. That was one of my prompts. That was quite funny, might I add. Oh, never again. Like, I'm dedicating this year to me. 100%. Love that for me. Bye, love you.
She couldn't believe that he rejected her. She could not believe that he rejected her. I don't understand what women don't get about it. You said the guy was hot, which means he has the ability to look elsewhere and has other options. So when he rejects you, why is it such a surprise to you? All because the guys that you view as beneath you, you reject the whole time. And then when you bump into a guy who you're actually into, you're used to dealing with guys that you don't want like that. This is why I tell you guys, they don't really bump into guys that they like that. So when they're playing a game, and you're thinking, why is she playing with him? She can't really see between the two because she hasn't gone for guys that she really wants like that, who approach her, who try to get at her, who campaign for relationships with her. No. It's only the loser dudes. The dudes where she's like, Whenever they interact with guys that they like, they're the ones campaigning. Or they're going with the flow, hoping that the guy will change his mind or move towards a relationship. So they never know how to go about it.
I know that I'm terrible at dating, right? Like, I know this because I have had the worst luck with men, but I've just had the worst ever realization about a past relationship ever, and I have to share it. This guy that I dated 5 years ago, like, honestly, it was the best relationship that I've ever had. It was so much fun. We got along. We did everything that we wanted to do together. And then, I don't know, it just didn't work out. But anyway, like, I sometimes stalk him and, like, I just check in because, like, he's still really cool, and I really am, like, kind of sad that it never worked out. But I found out he blocked me. At first I just noticed that his account was gone and I was like, maybe he deleted it, because why would he? I didn't even like register that he would block me because we haven't spoken in years. But it turns out he literally blocked me out of nowhere. But I'm like, why would he block me if he didn't want to be with me? Like, he was the one that didn't want to be with me, so, like, why would he even care? Like, why would he even care about seeing my account? Like, I've only blocked people if I'm, like, really hurt by seeing their content, you know, when you're like, I need to block them to, like, save my sanity. And then I'm like, wait, did he like me? Hold on. Did I have this all wrong? And now I'm going to tell you, because this is the part that's so fucked up. Okay. Like, we were dating for, like, 9 months solid, like, spending every weekend together. I was spending time with his family. I was, like, going camping trips with him and his brother's girlfriend, like, we were dating. I remember my family kept calling him my boyfriend, and I was like, well, he's not my boyfriend. Like, he hasn't asked me out. I was, like, starting to think about it. Okay, well, like, maybe he doesn't want to be my boyfriend because trauma. It was literally my birthday. We were camping in the mountains, and it was so amazing. The best camping trip of my life. And we were, like, camping in his little tent right before bed. I was like, hey, so are we boyfriend and girlfriend? And he was like, why would you even ask that? And then I was like, oh my God, I upset him. And then I got really anxious and I needed to get out of the tent. And I, like, kind of ended up like literally just, like, calming down my nervous system because I was so anxious. I was like, oh my God, he doesn't want to be my boyfriend. This is so fucked up. I'm so stupid. Why did I ask that? And then it was just kind of always weird after that. I felt like we kept trying to date, but he was being distant and he kept making it, like, a really big deal, like, that I wasn't his girlfriend. Like, he was like, oh, you wish, and stuff like that. And so all of this is confusing to me because I'm like, what? You ghosted me. And now I'm like, guys, what if he meant What if he meant, why did you even ask that? As if, of course, we are boyfriend and girlfriend. What if we were boyfriend and girlfriend and I didn't even know? And he was like, why are you even asking that? Because it was obvious that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. But I didn't even know that we were boyfriend and girlfriend because he didn't ask me to be his girlfriend. But like, that's kind of really immature. Did I have a boyfriend and then I fucked it up? Or should he have just like communicated better, because I genuinely had no idea that any of this was happening. I thought he was just didn't want to be with me. And now he's blocked me out of nowhere. And this has really sent me for a spiral that I didn't know that I was going to have today.
Men need to understand this, right? Let's get into this part of the video, this portion. Putting in a ton of effort for a woman makes absolutely no sense, because a lot of the best relationships that they get into or situations that they get into, they didn't know anything flat out. The lines were blurred. The guy never campaigned to be in a relationship with them. And this is actually showing you why it should go the way I say it should go. Women need to campaign for the relationship. You understand? Because when you do that, they're certain about everything. When you give them certainty, they start to give you their ass to kiss. So she continued to deal with this guy, even though he never asked her to be his girlfriend. See what I mean? Oh, you know, well, he brought me around and he did this and yeah, but he didn't flat out ask you the question, right? So she continued to see him, and now she's talking about this guy 5 years later. Oh, well, why did he block me in this? Who cares? And I'm gonna say it again. After this dude, right, there's been plenty of guys that want to do the right thing, want to be chivalrous, want to, you know, pick her up, take her out, really be intentional. And she's thinking about this guy from 5 years ago. Why does this always go the same way? Because it's like I'm telling you, bro, putting in effort with them, it don't get you anywhere. It doesn't. If anything, it's like, oh, okay, I can save him for later. Or, okay, he'll do for now. Or no. You need to do as less as possible to see if a woman's actually feeling you. It's like I always tell guys, go away. Just go away. If a woman starts playing games, go away, because guess what? As time goes on, what this woman is experiencing right now is, right, she's at the end, or she's getting towards the end, and she can't find a good dude to lock down. So now she's thinking back on like, damn, what I did have access to, whether it was good, bad, or indifferent, right? Because she said this went on for a couple months. And now it's like, what's up with that? Same thing all around the board. Doesn't matter if you were standoffish, indifferent, whatever. It went on for a period of time. You just go away. You don't kick and scream the moment she doesn't want to, you know, talk to you anymore. Maybe you discard of her or whatever, but just go away, because you will be a guy that she thinks about, not the guy that keeps putting in heavy effort. I'm sorry to say this, man. And actually, no, the hell with it. I'm not. It doesn't matter, bro. Tons of guys kicking themselves right now like, damn, I wish I could have did this better. Damn, I wish I would have moved to the left or the right. Damn, I wish I wouldn't have overreacted like that. Bro, nothing matters unless you're the guy that she likes or wants. You can make a bunch of mistakes. If she likes you, if she wants you, she'll accept it. Or she'll work to move past the mistake, no matter what kind of mistake it was. So it doesn't matter when you're putting in all this effort. You understand? Just go away. Just go away. Bottom line is, he didn't campaign for a relationship. He didn't. And she's talking about this is one of the best this is the best relationship she's been in. But it doesn't make sense because he never asked her to be his girlfriend. Let's get the next one.
How the heck am I single? Dating in 2026 is pretty much impossible. It's not that I can't get anyone. It's the fact that guys do not want to make an effort anymore. Like, I just go through all these talking stages, which last about a day, and then it just fizzles out. They'll add me on Instagram, they'll react to my stories, they'll send me fire emojis, you know, try to get my attention, get their little ego boost, but they will never plan a date. Everyone's talking to everyone, they have a million other options, and it's just overwhelming. I can't be bothered. It's too hard, and I just don't even want to waste my energy on this anymore. Like, I have 0 talking stage left in me. I've had enough. It's like no one really wants to settle for anyone these days because they always think there's someone better because we have so many options. But at the same time, I think most of us are actually going to end up being alone because of that. So it's sad what the world is coming to. So I'm just going to focus on me and protect my peace. Very cliche. But what else can I do? I mean, I'm not going to waste any more time looking for someone because I just end up getting frustrated and upset.
When she says I'm not going to waste time looking for someone, like she's not going to waste her time looking for anyone anymore, what she means is I'm not going to bring what can I do for you, sir energy. Let's be real. Guys, You see the woman in the clip. We don't have to do this immature song and dance. You know, you look in the comments, oh, she's mid. It's always the fives talking. Knock it off, bro. If this woman brought what can I do for you, sir, energy and was cooperative, can you see any man kicking her to the curb? We're not talking about dudes who are in Hollywood or whatever. We're talking about regular dudes. If this chick brought what can I do for you, sir, energy, cooperative, submissive, a helpmate, would any dude get rid of her or would he pour into her? See, she's talking about, like, you know, on Instagram. And it's always the things that they don't say. And you can honestly tell when they're not looking from outside of themselves. They're not looking at anything, right? She's talking about Instagram. They'll get their ego boost and, you know, they'll like your story and everything. Okay, if Instagram is your personal billboard, well, what does your Instagram say about you? Since you're always posting, guys don't want to put in effort. What are you posting? How do you look on your Instagram? Okay, why would a guy put in effort for a chick that's posting nonstop, posting provocative pictures, talking a bunch of nonsense on her story? You know, you can tell that she thinks that she's a celebrity, even though she's only got like a couple thousand followers. Anybody can pull that. You know, probably your head is inflated, your ego's inflated. Why is a guy putting in a bunch of effort? And you said it yourself, you know, you got a bunch of guys, they'll hit you up in your DMs and all this constant attention. So they don't think about it. They just think like, oh, I'm lit on Instagram or I'm lit online. Well, no, how do you look? How do you present yourself?
Something that really confuses me about dating in 2026 is that men will tell you that they really enjoy spending time with you. They want to see you again. You talk about future plans, going places and doing things together. And then they just slowly stop responding. Or like send the most basic text that you have to fight for your life to like keep the conversation going. So like clearly you're not interested. Why are you telling me that you still want to see me again? Like just say you don't. Just, it's not that hard to be honest and communicate accurately and be transparent about how you're feeling, because now I'm sitting here being like, we just spent a week together. He told me he wanted to see me again. We made plans for the summer. We talked about, you know, how we're so similar in so many ways and that we like spending time together. And now I'm just being breadcrumbed to be kept along for the convenience of those plans in the summer. But he doesn't want the in-between of from March until June. Just wants to pop up again in June. Which I realize it just freaking sucks to go through every single time, because every time I think I start to like a man, which is the worst thing ever, he shows me why I shouldn't. And why I believe it every single time, I don't know, because I'm a hopeless romantic and I think that a man might actually be telling the truth once upon a time. But alas, it's never the case. They are always just lying to my face.
Wait a minute, I'm confused now. I thought men had no power. Like in the dating market, I thought like men were replaceable. You know, nah, I'm just joking. You know, men have the power to put women in relationships or to offer relationships. They have the power to like have sex with a bunch of dudes. So I just find this funny. She's talking about she's going through this every single time, which lets you know that the guys that you're attracted to do this to you every single time. What about the guys that don't want to do that to you? And we obviously know the answer to this, but it's just funny. You have to ask this question. You literally have to ask this question. How are you complaining? You're doing it to yourself. It's not the men at this point. You know, you have to hold yourself accountable. What am I doing wrong? And then let me fix that. But see, like I'm telling you, with women, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. They're not going to date somebody who they're not attracted to. Somebody that they need to let grow on them, even though they're the biggest sayers of this nonsense. It's your personality that counts and all that stuff. So what are we worried about the hot guy for if his personality is the most important thing? That's why I always bring that up. You know, I make videos and I say men should be attractive. Men should be in shape. Men should have their life in order. Yeah, but that's all for men, bro. That's all for men. And like women, it's like a bonus, you know? You get noticed. You get 10 extra seconds to shoot your shot. You understand? It's like she's willing to hear you out. On a dating app, it makes it easier to match with chicks. But, you know, at the end of the day, when it comes to a commitment and a relationship with meaning, They're always searching for like the hot guy or this, that, but it's just nonsense. It's really nonsense because, all right, here's the thing. Do it, but don't complain about it when it doesn't go in your favor. Right? Doesn't that make sense? But at the same time, you know, I push men to be better because I don't even like the idea of women should settle. I'm just bringing it up like, does that make any sense? Why do you keep chasing something that isn't going to benefit you? That's the only point I'm making, but I get it. But this is what it looks like when a woman finally does settle down with the guy that she doesn't really want like that. You know, the guy that's been there all along that cares about her. This is how they see the guy.
You know, back when I was still having sex with men who wore Adidas slides and dirty white socks, you know the ones. I wish I could tell me then that I'd be married to like a whole ass pediatrician sitting outside in our backyard by the fire he built me, drinking an old fashioned, waiting for him to come downstairs to join me because he's putting our kids to bed. Marry the nerd.
You know what my favorite thing about my man is? You wanna know? That he literally turned the hoe into the housewife. He literally turned the hoe into a housewife. It's possible. I'm just folding his boxers. You know, it took a minute. I was like, you know, I ain't ready to settle down, baby. I'm still out here in the streets. But he turned me into a housewife. Oh, is your mind? Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
Embarrassing the man that loves them is exactly what they do when they get with a guy that they didn't want from the beginning. And this is another reason why men aren't begging for their attention. Men aren't begging to take them out on dates. Men aren't begging to commit, because at the end of the day, right, this is what you get. And you will see this even in your family, you know, your friends, you know, work colleagues. You'll see their wife pull up, embarrass them, talk down to them, and you'll literally be embarrassed for the fool. But he's doing it to himself. It's like I'm telling you before, the chick needs to hold herself accountable. Men need to hold themselves accountable too. Why are you with this chick, bro? See, they laugh at you. He turned the hoe into a housewife. They laugh at you because they know that they don't deserve you. This is why I'm telling you, you can either have this happen to you in the beginning or at the end. So in the beginning, when a woman acts funny style with you, you're like, damn, why she moving her face? Damn, I brought her flowers. Why she acting all weird? Damn, I took her on an expensive date. Why is she acting all weird and distant from me? Damn, I feel as though somebody else is in the background and I'm competing for her affection, but I'm doing all of this stuff. See, the reason why this is happening is because she knows that she doesn't deserve what you're doing. And she's laughing at you, bro. I know you heard me say that before. Now it's in 1080p for you. They're literally laughing at you. This idiot. If only he knows how I got down or how I still get down. He's an idiot, but I'll accept it. I'll make him wait. I'll tell him what I will and won't accept because his dumb ass will still be there. This is exactly how they operate. And once again, it's not all. You know, some women will appreciate the effort that you put in. But see, how you gauge that is not doing it in the beginning. You understand? You surprise a woman with certain things. That's the thing about simping and trying to do too much. It's never a surprise for a woman. You're just going to do as you're told. You're just going to do it because, bro, I'm the best he could get. And I know that because he acts like an idiot. Because I got with guys for nothing. And I like them more than they liked me. See, this sticks with the woman. See, don't get it confused. See, when they get older, they try to say that they have these standards. But that never leaves them, bro. Why do you think you have clips of women in this video talking about dudes from 5 years ago? Oh, well, this situation happened a year ago. Why are you still thinking about that? The one chick talking about, well, why did he block me? Do you understand, right? Maybe in the moment, it stung or I felt some type of way, but there is not one woman that I've dealt with that I'm thinking about right now. Like, damn, what is she doing? Or why didn't this go right? Or whatever. Bro, I'm a grown-ass man. The hell I'm thinking about them for? So protect yourself, protect your well-being. Never let a woman look at you like she's better than you, bro. You see, a lot of guys will think, you know, she's hot or she's this or she does this or she has this, so she must be better than me. That's not true, bro. You just ain't working hard enough. Just don't beg for their attention. Don't beg for their validation. The woman that wants you will literally campaign for you. All the other stuff is nonsense. So this was women are shocked that men refuse to beg for their attention in modern dating. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. It's your boy Josten J. Get with you boys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
The thing about if you date men is that I don't think that you can ever really change a man's opinion of you in dating, right? Like once a man thinks of you in a specific way, I really don't think that there's much that you can ever do to change his mind. Meaning, if he sees you casually, there's like nothing that you can do or say that's going to change his mind. You cannot like perform and be this cool girl, whatever it is. If he feels a certain way about you, that is how he feels, which I believe on the contrary, I think women, you can like grow on a woman, right? Like a woman can maybe like, yeah, I didn't like him at first, but then I fell in love with him more. I started to like his personality. Like he grew on me a little bit more. I don't think that happens for men. I think men obviously are very like, physical, like straightforward in that way, and they're very intentional. And so I think that as a woman, if you're going to date men, it would be a waste of your time to ever put effort into a situation where you feel like you have to change a man's opinion of how seriously he's taking you, okay? There's no amount of work, there's no amount of you being a cool girl, whatever it is, that's ever going to change that.